gonna get drunk or something, guys. That's the only way we can do this.
Hello, world. We are not drunk.
No.
We are recording episode 1 of Discourse About Gaming podcast. I am your host, Matt, and this is...
Josh.
This will be awkward to start, but who cares, whatever. We'll start off the show. Well, basically the show, we hope to be, it's basically just, we'll go over the news, we'll go over what games are coming out, kind of talk about our feelings on the current, the games industry as a whole.
Yeah, and we want to do a weekly podcast. So
Yeah.
It'll kind of be a drop of the biggest news portions of that week. And we'll kind of go off of that. We won't do all the news for that week, but we'll pick and choose our favorites.
I'm thinking, the person listening to this will know what day it comes out on. But I'm thinking Fridays, but I don't know if I'll record. I'm thinking every Friday we'll have the episode.
I think so, yeah. If we picked a Friday, because we're recording on Wednesday, so
yeah,
a day for editing. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Friday would be good.
Yeah. Start the weekend off
Maybe
right.
I can get this one up by Friday, but the person listening to this will know whether or not it actually makes it up by Friday. But from now on, it'll be on Fridays. This one might be Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can start off basically what kind of games we like, just an introduction to like.
When did you start
play. When
gaming?
did I start?
When did this whole thing of when did you hear about gaming?
When I was I was born in '92, and I'm gonna look up really quick. The NES was my first system.
I thought you were gonna say Webster's Dictionary defines.
They're gonna hear my mouse clicking. That's annoying.
Okay.
Whatever. The NES came out in 1983. No, wait. 1983 in Japan, but when did it come out in the U.S.? Release date, here we go, 1985.
Okay.
So it came out 7 years before I was even born, but when I was like 4 or 5 years old, my dad still had one from like around when they came out, and I grew up playing the first Super Mario Brothers and Contra. And what's funny is my dad and I had beaten Contra.
Wow.
And that's considered like one of the hardest games of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But like,
it's impossible.
it must be easy co-op or something, because it wasn't that hard. Maybe it wasn't Contra. It was like Contra 2 or something easier. I don't remember. I've actually replayed them recently with my brother on an emulator, and they're easy with save states.
Yeah, if you could save.
They're easy with save. Yeah, without save states, I don't really know how we beat it back in the day. But yeah, I had an NES and then an N64, and then from that point, after the N64, I had a PS2, and then it was like, I had the N64 and then the PS2, and then after that, I've had like every console from that point on, because I had the PS3, a 360, Wii, and then I've had every console since the PS2, except the Wii U.
The Wii U. No one bought the Wii U. No one bought that.
Well,
I didn't even know about the Wii U until the Switch came out.
Sold
and
less,
people made fun of the Wii U.
Vita sold more than the Wii U.
The Vita?
Yeah, that's how unpopular the Wii U is.
Oh, man. And they're just porting everything from the Wii U to the Switch. So
it's taking them forever. I've been waiting forever for Pikmin 3 to come out.
Yeah.
On Switch.
Well, they announced
just now.
Yeah.
Next month coming out.
Yeah.
October 30th.
So I'm actually a little jealous because my gaming origin story, if you will, wasn't quite as... from the beginning, the NES and whatnot. Actually, my first full console was a PS2. Mm-hmm. Now, I guess if you could count a PC as a gaming console.
You can count that. I played PC games too.
So that's kind of what introduced me to gaming. I started out with PC, the old like 1990s PC, the fat monitor that was kind of tanned. It looked like it was faded white, or maybe it was faded white from the 80s. I don't know. But basically, I would play, like Asteroids, Pinball, Centipede, like all those weird PC games that just kind of came out. Now they're like mobile games. Mobile games are even better than those nowadays. So I started out with that, and
they just have tons of ads crammed into them.
Yeah,
so maybe they're not better.
And of course, with like school and stuff, and I was partially homeschooled, so I did a lot of learning on PC. As far as like, remember those games where you had to like type fast, like you type the word. Yeah,
maybe speaking typing.
Yeah,
typing tutorial.
Yeah, this one was like, I don't even remember what it's called, but junk would fall. Like some rats at the top. No, rats were like at the top. It was like inside this mansion, and these rats would throw junk off the big balcony, off the top balconies, and it would fall down, and each piece of junk would have a word on it, and you had to type the word, and if you didn't type it fast enough, it would pile up, right? And if it piled up all the way to the top, you would lose. So it taught you how to type fast. So of course I did some of those learning ones. And what's the famous one? Oregon Trail. You know.
I'm gonna title this episode "Mavis Beacon's Typing Teacher."
No, it's not copyright, is it?
That's the title of the episode. So we're talking about.
Okay, perfect. So you know, I started out with those, and then the Game Boy came out.
Okay, yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
I mentioned that I played all these different consoles growing up, and I skipped Super Nintendo because I was that was already out when I was playing NES. I was playing an older system, not knowing it was old.
Yeah.
That's what's funny is going from the NES to the N64. I don't remember the leap.
Yeah.
I think I was too young because everybody always talks about
the 3D.
The leap into 3D was crazy, but growing up, I played 3D games on my computer.
Yeah, that's
So I never really. It was I started playing 3D games.
And didn't arcades have 3D games?
Yeah, arcades had 3D games too. So I wasn't I'm not old enough to even know what it was like to go from 2D to 3D.
Yeah.
Even though I played the NES and then I played Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 on my computer, which is a 3D shooter.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Doom. I remember.
I didn't play Doom, but I played Dark Forces, which is a Doom clone.
Yeah.
Star Wars. But besides all those systems, I was obsessed with I had a fat Game Boy.
Yeah, the gray one?
Yeah, I don't think it worked very well because I had it for a bit. It was my dad's, and then I remember my grandpa, I think, got me a Game Boy Pocket.
Oh, wow.
It was the mini
Is that
version.
what they called it?
Yeah. So
I had the Game Boy Color.
Okay, so they had the big fatty Game Boy, and then they also had the Game Boy Pocket, which is basically a Game Boy Color form factor.
Oh, wow.
Here it is.
Too bad the audience can't see the screen.
They can Google Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah.
So that's what it looked like.
Okay.
It looked like a Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was just black and white.
Yeah, I don't think the Game Boy Color had that sharp edge though. Maybe.
I never had a Game Boy Color, but I had a Game Boy Advance, the first one.
Okay.
And a Game Boy SP, and I played Game Boy Color games.
SP was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was Game Boy Color.
I never had. There was the front lit SP.
I don't think I had that.
And then that was the most common one.
Okay.
It had. It looks like a backlight, but it's not. It has a light in front of it.
That's what I did have that. Yeah.
But then there was also a backlit one.
Oh.
I'd never seen one, and apparently it looks amazing. And I wish I had that one.
I didn't have that one. No.
But
I had a nice red flip. It flipped open. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And it looked sleek and. Yeah, but Game Boy was kind of my first big introduction to. I guess that would be handheld gaming. But
I've always been obsessed with handheld games.
Yeah, handheld games.
Even now with Switch, it's still
exactly. I think that's what the Switch has done so well is bringing back that nostalgic of handheld gaming from the 90s.
It's frustrating to me though that they don't have a virtual console of Game Boy games, DS games. It has a touchscreen. You could play DS games on it.
Yeah,
they could make it work. I don't know. It's there's so much opportunity to put old games on the Switch, and they just we'll go over that later too.
Yeah,
some of the new Mario games coming out on Switch.
You just need to hire more people, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Game Boy. So I basically started with PC and then Game Boy, and eventually I got my first PS2. Now, obviously, before the PS2, I would go to friends' houses that had a Dreamcast, a Sega Saturn. I went to I went on this trip to the mountains, and it was at someone else's cabin, and they had just an NES in the attic somewhere, and we would go up there and play it in the attic. So that's where I found out about NES, even that it actually existed. I thought that was from the 50s. I thought NES was ancient because after playing a PS2 or something, you play one of those, it feels ancient. But so I played those older consoles, but I never actually owned one. My first one that I personally owned with Christmas money, it was either Christmas money or a gift or something. I can't quite remember, but it was PS2. And quickly, within that first year of owning the PS2, something called the Microsoft's gaming console, the Xbox, came out.
You're so stupid.
I know I'm stupid. So the Xbox came out, and I was like, "What is this thing?" So I actually sold my PS2 for an Xbox pretty early on. And then from then on, I had.
I mean, you didn't do it for the Xbox; you did it for Halo.
I did it for Halo, honestly. But I had some nerdy PC friends that were like, "The Xbox is better in every way." And, the power and the pixels and then the graphics. The graphics were better, I think.
Oh yeah, the PS2 was the weakest by far.
Yeah, PS2 was. You get the cool DVD player. It was a DVD player, right? Blue.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Not even Blu-ray, it was DVD.
I remember specifically playing Return of the King
Oh, I love that
on a
game.
PS2, and a friend of mine came over, and we were playing it on PS2, and he had it on GameCube.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why does this look so muddy?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you mean? It looks great. What are you
Is
talking about?"
GameCube better than PS2?
Yeah, GameCube's more powerful than PS2.
What?
Yeah, I know, that's what's weird.
Wow,
It's
the
like,
rhetoric was Nintendo is always the lesser console, right?
it didn't used to be like the N64 is theoretically is a lot more powerful than the PS1.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
okay.
a 64-bit system, and the
But
PS1
it has
was.
CDs. It has.
Well, yeah,
Discs?
it had the benefit of having. Well, one reason why the N64 failed that's harder to see now is that the cartridges were really expensive.
Expensive,
So the
$60
games were
a
more
cartridge.
expensive, and it also just had less games. Like Nintendo.
No,
had
wait, was it $60 to actually make a cartridge?
it was
right?
like $80 or something.
$80 actually.
Yeah.
So they sold it at a loss.
Well, no, I mean $80 to buy the game.
By the game,
Yeah.
but wasn't there? Yeah, it was something ridiculous. Like a CD was $5.
It might not have been that much. It might have been 50 or 60.
Yeah.
But when adjusted for inflation, it's more.
Yeah.
Whereas some PS1 games are 30 or $40, depending on the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was like an anomaly of cheap games. Usually games have gotten, are actually cheaper now than they ever have been.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the PS2 on, going back, the PS2 on, I pretty much had every console. I didn't buy the PS3 because my host here, Matt, had a PS3, so I didn't really care about what was it, Little Big Planet. Yeah, but Xbox.
you played every good PS3 game on
yeah.
PS4.
I played the Uncharted.
The Uncharted trilogy, Last of Us.
I did not play. What was Sucker Punch's game?
Infamous.
Infamous.
Those need a re-release, and Resistance needs a re-release.
I do. I want to play Infamous because
Yeah, they're great.
I never played them. So
I have them over there.
okay, maybe I should buy them. But anyways, that's kind of the background. I didn't feel the need to own a PS3, and I remember playing into the console wars a little bit, even as a
Everybody
teenager.
did. It was people don't remember that the console wars was way more like hostile than
It was very
than it was
hostile.
now. I mean, it's still hostile now.
It's still hostile, but it's not as widespread because you get the next generation coming out after us, like whatever.
It's because there was more exclusives then. I feel like
that might
that's
have been
not true either, though. There's
But
tons of PS4
because
exclusives.
Xbox lost
Yeah.
all their exclusivity. I remember Splinter Cell being exclusive.
Oh, that's right.
Mass Effect was exclusive.
Oh yeah, the first one was for a while.
Elder Scrolls used to just be Xbox, or at least Microsoft. Maybe they had PC.
Morrowind,
games.
yeah, Morrowind was exclusive, but then Oblivion just came out first on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, first, and it was more powerful and it ran better, right?
Yeah, it
Skyrim
wasn't that it was
even
more
ran better.
powerful. It was optimized better on Xbox, so
Okay.
it ran better. But
Yeah.
it's like
Same with Skyrim. It ran
Skyrim was a
better.
train wreck on PS3 for like 2 years.
Yeah, so-
you couldn't play past the 40-hour mark, basically.
Yeah.
This
So
term.
yeah, it was definitely hostile back then. I remember thinking Xbox is the best console. You're a loser if you don't play Xbox. That's just because I had some, hardcore PC friends that, and we would go to those cafes, like gaming cafes, PC, and we play
Howie's Game Shack.
Counter Strike, and we just
Counter Strike is still good.
yeah.
Um,
Anyways, gaming cafes.
yeah.
That could be a whole episode on its own.
I never went to that many. I remember me and my friend Pierce and my brother Michael would go to this place called Howie's Game Shack in like Forest.
Oh.
It was in a mall called the Kaleidoscope.
Huh.
And they would just have like all these computers set up, and back in the day you would be able to actually like play with all the people there and like play
Yeah.
Battlefield
Yeah.
2 or whatever.
In a server.
Yeah, and play with all these people in the room. But when we went there, this was like 10 years ago, everybody was just playing League.
Oh yeah.
And we were like,
So it's
whatever.
all
So we
online?
ended up just messing around on Gary's mod for like
Okay.
hours, just making weird crap. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to touch on as far as intros or
I mean, we're kind of platform agnostic now.
Yeah, we have all three, both of us.
I literally, I have a PS4, an Xbox One S, and a Switch.
Yeah.
I do have Steam and what's the other one?
Epic Game Store.
Epic Game Store. I have those, and I do download games from there, but I just have a Mac, so I can't really run them.
I think Into the Breach was free on the Epic Game Store this week.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe it was last week or next week. I can't remember. I've been playing that game on Switch lately. It's really good.
Nice.
We can go over that now. So to start the show, we could say, go over what we've been playing this week. And for me, I've been playing mostly Ghost of Tsushima, which is incredible. I don't really have much negative to say about it, except for I like it a lot, but it has the Witcher 3 problem for me, where there's just too much. There's just too much to do in the open world. But it's all good. Like, everything in the open world is pretty good. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, you're playing it, and so far I like everything about the open world. I like how the fog of war it just covers everything.
Yeah.
And you can't just, like in Far Cry and like...
You can't just go to a tower.
You can't just go to like the 3-4 towers, you're good.
Yeah.
Like in Horizon, you could just...
Zero Dawn.
In Horizon Zero Dawn, you can just clear the whole map of fog in
easy,
like 4 towers. It's easy.
Yeah.
And then... But
I like the way they did it.
The way they did it, though, yeah, you do an outpost and it like clears that little section. Or you could just run around and explore everything and open it up. But like the map is huge. It's crazy.
So did you know if you liberate the entire map, it gets rid of all the fog?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, when you liberate an area, it gets rid of that little area's fog.
But even if you have little pieces that are still left over, you can, if you just go to the direct outpost and liberate, it gets rid of everything. Okay. Yeah, so you can clears up everything.
But the map itself is huge. Like
3 areas.
But it's beautiful. It's great. Like, it's funny to me that it has that black and white mode.
Oh man,
because it does a disservice to how beautiful the game is.
I turn it on for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, like the use of color is so amazing.
Yeah,
like with the flowers and the everything. It looks incredible.
When you have the Witcher 3 problem where you are running to do one quest, but then another quest pops up, and you're like, "Do I do this?" And you kind of fall down.
Well, no, it's like it comes to be a problem when you have the mindset of I want to do all the side stuff before I do the main thing.
Yeah.
That's if I did that, it would take me 60 hours to beat the game.
Yeah, it took me about 60.
Like, yeah, and that's how long it takes to platinum it, basically. But it's like
I ended up actually doing that. Now this is abnormal for me. I normally do not care about doing all the side missions and all the.
Well, they're not hard. That's the thing.
They're not hard. They're quick. I think what it does right, and actually I think what it does better than The Witcher 3, is in The Witcher 3 you can do a side quest and it had a cool side story arc or character development. It had those things going for it, but as far as gameplay, it wouldn't change much. No. Now in Ghost of Tsushima, it literally every side mission you do adds some kind of upgrade to your fighting style or point. It gives you something to put towards your different stances.
Yeah.
So even those bamboo strikes, I like how they have. I call those like mini missions or like mini side missions, right? It's all it does is it just improves different parts of your stamina or your health or your, what was the other one? One of those. So yeah, everything mattered. I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
To make a quick tangent with what you're saying is that's what I despise. I mean, I like the game overall, but I hated about Jedi Fallen Order was that all the extra stuff was just like ponchos.
Yeah, that was.
It was so dumb. It was infuriating. It was like, oh, you like open the map as this big 3D map, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna explore every little thing and get everything, and then you like get a little extra thing, and it's just like a poncho or a ship skin.
There wasn't even like data pads or anything, right?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I liked that game a lot playing it.
It didn't encourage you to explore.
No, like in the first 2 hours, like, oh, this is a game I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do all the side stuff, and then you start doing the side stuff, and you just get. You get ponchos and ship skins,
and all the ponchos look the same.
I'm not gonna do this. Like, I'm not gonna do any of the side stuff now.
Yeah,
which is frustrating because like I love that formula, like Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
where it has the exact same like 3D map.
Oh yeah.
The audience can't see me doing the hand gesture of how a 3D map looks, where it's like you can zoom in around and all of like the 3-dimensional map, not a 2D map.
Yeah.
But like in Metroid Prime, you go and explore, and you get like extra missile capacity and extra health and everything.
And I'm sure with the second one they'll do that because that was a huge complaint.
Yeah, I feel like they probably like rushed it for holiday last year.
Yeah, and it's still a great game. Obviously, we're talking
it was
about
super buggy on. It wasn't buggy for me on the One X, but apparently on base PS4 and Xbox One, it was like it kind of like had frame rate issues. And
we're comparing golds to platinums. Like they're all
old games.
Yeah, and they're top tier games. Like these are top tier games. Yeah. But with Ghost of Tsushima, I agree with you. Yeah, it can get
that far. Yeah, I'm in Act 2.
I will say it pays off to actually do all the side missions.
I've heard the final boss is really hard.
Yes,
that's all I know. So that's why I'm still trying to do all the stuff.
You need to get all. I would do all the mythic quests. Those are essential because it gives you moves. It gives you certain moves that you need.
Yeah.
For the last couple missions, and then I would do at least the side quests that have a little face on them.
Oh, the people,
you notice that? There's
like
there's
Masako's quest.
Yeah, it says 1 out of 9 and whatnot. Those are important because those are story building and they're really cool and they give you cool things. So that's what you've been playing?
I've also been playing Diablo 3 on Switch.
Oh, that's a retro though. I thought it
came out in 2012 on PC, but it came out on Switch like 2 years ago. And Does it run well? It runs at 60 frames.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It runs really well.
A Switch.
It was on sale for $30 on up until Sunday, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy it. I was like watching videos about it. I was so hyped. Monday, I come home from work and it was back to full price, and I was like, whatever, I'm still buying it. I just bought it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. It's like a really slow grind at first because I'm playing the campaign.
Okay.
They let you skip the campaign if you want to.
See, I didn't even know.
It's cool because it follows like they let you skip the campaign seasonal stuff that the other versions are doing.
Oh wow!
It's not like it's some old version they just threw on the Switch. Like they're on the season 21 that everything else is on.
Is it connected online?
No. It's not crossplay, but it follows all the same like seasonal updates that all the other versions have. PS4.
But I mean, can you play online?
You can play online, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't.
I haven't done that yet. I'm just playing solo because it gives you AI companions in the campaign.
Yeah.
So like I don't really have. I mean, it also lets you matchmake, but I haven't done it yet. So.
See, I've never played a Diablo.
I've only played like 5 hours. It's just like what you think it would be.
Okay.
Finding loot.
Yeah.
It's starting out. It's like when you play Destiny and you're just finding gray stuff everywhere. That's basically where I am at right now. So.
Okay. Speaking of Destiny,
that's where I was segueing.
That's actually a great segue because I've literally, and this, I know this sounds lame, but I am still kind of addicted to Destiny 2. Now, I took a long break in between. We didn't even talk about this, but The Last of Us came out this summer too.
Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. And also Animal Crossing. I took a huge break from about, April till now.
Break from Destiny?
A break from Destiny. I didn't play Destiny 2. And then I recently got back in because they have this Solstice event going on. It's like a 3 or 4 week event where you actually earn this in-game armor through it. And I wish they did this more in games, but you get a piece of armor, or you get like an armor set, and it's blue, right? It's the lower tier set. So you get that set, and then there on each piece of armor, it will say a little checklist to do. And that could be just and it's all just play the game basically. Yeah. But it's just a little checklist of get this many kills, get this many grenade kills, do this many strikes, and then you'll basically fill out that checklist, and then you'll go. It's like meditate at this altar, right, in the game, and then it grants you the next tier and it gives you a full set of purple, right? So then you get your purple set. This might be getting into the weeds a little bit, but the whole point of what I'm getting at with
I'm gonna cut all this out.
Oh yeah,
I'm just kidding.
You just muted me, didn't you? But basically, what I'm getting at is I'm addicted back to Destiny 2. It's coming. It does a really good job.
All the DLC up until now is coming in Game Pass.
That blows my mind.
It's coming in Game Pass in a week.
No.
Yeah. All the DLC.
I thought it was gonna be November.
Well, all the DLC available now, like Shadowfall and all that, it's coming in a week or two. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to re-download on Xbox. Yeah. And play with you, right?
And then we could play. And then, but I mean, I'm not going to get really into it until the new game comes out.
And honestly, I could show you the main things. But what Destiny does really well, and I always commend them for this, and I've I run with their banner like I am the Destiny guy. They do a good job of bringing people together. They do a good job of bringing gamers together in an easy, fluid way to where you can
scream at each other while you try to beat a raid.
Exactly. You can get pissed off and not be friends anymore. No, but it's just like the way that you team up in that game and accomplish tasks, it's so streamlined. It I can jump in with Matt and he's way lower level than me, but
it didn't used to be that streamlined.
It didn't used to be this streamlined, but now it's if you're 100 levels over the activity level, it only affects like maybe the first 30 levels actually matter, and after that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Meaning, it's not like I'm going to start destroying enemies. I'm only going to be about 20, 30 levels ahead of them, right?
Yeah.
So, and you could be down at the enemy level, and we could still have a fun time. We basically kill enemies at a very similar rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I might have better gear and whatnot, but
it's not like the old days of Destiny where if you were low level, you just couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it, yeah. Yeah. So, and obviously there's end game activities. So anyways, the Destiny addiction's back and in full swing. I have been doing a lot more. I've kind of committed this year to actually beating games, like actually rolling credits on games.
Yeah,
which we can talk about on probably a different episode.
Yeah.
I have a whole list of games I've actually rolled credits on that I'm excited about, and the most recent one was obviously Ghost of Tsushima. I rolled credits on that. But the one I'm actually starting now is another PS4 exclusive, which is called Concrete Genie. A small, I think it's
indie.
short?
Is it a short game?
It's
or
only
no?
a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's only supposed to be 5 or 6 hours at the most if you
finish
do
it?
everything.
You didn't finish it yet?
No, I only played the first two hours ish.
Yeah. Is that good?
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's hard to go from literally my game of the year to
What?
any game. Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's your game that you like that more than Last of Us?
Yes.
Oh, wow,
and
that's crazy.
And I'll tell you why. It's more of a
It's a game.
It's a game.
Well, honestly, that's
The
the
Last
thing.
of Us 2 was an experience.
The
And
thing
it was
is,
a beautiful experience.
Last of Us 2 feels more gamey than the first one.
It
to me.
does. It
Yeah,
does.
That's what's weird. It's like
It does, and I'm a huge stealth action guy. You know that. I love
I
Splinter
got sick
Cell.
of the stealth by the end. The whole last. Well, I won't spoil Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
The whole last level of Last of Us
You just-
Part 2, I was
just
over it.
blew
Like I'm
through.
over the stealth.
Yeah, they do stealth really well in The
Mhm.
Last of Us Part 2, where you can go in and
Yeah,
out
you-
of stealth.
You can
like,
build a silencer and everything.
Oh,
and
it's
crazy. You
genius.
could lay on the grass like Metal
oh
Gear.
yeah,
It's
I love
ridiculous.
I love that fact that you can just engage and I guess
Yeah,
disengage.
you can disengage easily.
Yeah, I love that. Like, because that's in real life. You could lose people.
I
in real
tried
life.
doing. I replayed Last of Us 1 recently.
Yeah.
Like after I beat the second one, and I tried doing that a couple times where you disengage from the enemy,
Yeah.
and it glitches the game out.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Like there was one part where I ran away from the enemy and I hid, and 3 of the enemies got caught in this infinite stair loop, and they were running up and down the stairs over and over and over again.
Those are my
And then it
favorite
kept
moments.
monster closet spawning like
Oh yeah.
infinitely, guys through the window.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just draining all my ammo here. And so you like older games, like they weren't designed for you to just do whatever you want. You have to like move at a certain pace. It's like when the old Call of Duty games,
Yeah.
you had to keep moving forward or just keep spawning enemies
guys
on you.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's-
it's those are cool.
Whereas like
game
Ghost
mechanics.
has the standoff mechanic thing,
Super cool. Yeah.
and it's cool because if there is just a group of 5 guys and you kill all of them in the standoff, that's it. You
Yeah.
killed everybody in the thing. It's
Yeah.
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 Whereas an older game would just have enemies that spawned after
Just-
anyway. You know? It's
Exactly.
like-
Yeah. And I'm excited for that direction that the gaming industry is going. It's more player choice. You can do what you want, kind of when you want,
Mhm.
you know, within certain parameters, but they're not as constrictive. I
That
guess.
used to just be in open world games, and now I want there to be just less open world games and just have more games like that where you just do what you want, like in Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's like a linear game, but it's really open in a weird way,
Yeah.
like the first one was. But yeah.
So going back to Concrete Genie, see
Oh, yeah.
that's the problem. That's kind of actually that's a perfect example of or description of Concrete Genie. It's a really good game by I think an indie developer. I think they're
Yeah.
a small developer, but either way, it's an incredible achievement. But again, after playing The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima
Yeah.
and Animal Crossing, it's hard to get into a game like that. It is completely different. It's not like shooting or killing or anything. It's all about basically bringing color back to this world that got overrun.
It's by Pixelopus.
Pixelopus, okay.
They're a Sony developer, first-party developer. They also made Entwined.
So obviously they're small because
Yeah.
no one's heard of Entwined, and Pixelopus never heard of them, except for because I'm playing their game right now. But again, I honestly, if you're in the mood for just a relaxing, laid back game where you're not actually killing anyone, you know, you're just bringing color back to a world. I think it would be better in VR. It is a VR compatible
it is?
game, and it's all about painting. Like you can paint whatever you want
Yeah.
with the tools that they give you. And of course, they use the stupid touchpad. And I turned that off right away and just switched it to the right stick. But yeah, it's a cool game. I'd suggest it to anyone that you know is looking for something less like The Last of Us. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
no,
super
Last of
dark
Us.
and heavy.
It's a common theme I've heard of people just like you
Over
need
it.
some kind of palate cleanser
Yeah,
after Last of Us Part 2.
yeah,
For most people, I think it was Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
For me, I went back and replayed all 3 Halo games.
Oh, that's cool.
That was like the perfect... I was like in a weird funk after I beat Last of Us Part 2. It was like depressed. Just like this game was just miserable.
And that's the that's the beauty of Halo, I guess. It's nostalgia.
Yeah, that game is just epic. Like it's just like the emotion of epic all the time.
Yeah,
like,
the emotion of
pretty much like just...
Well,
and there's like nostalgia
too.
too.
You feel like a superhuman.
Yeah, you like walk around and like especially in Halo 3, all the Marines are like, "Oh my god, it's Master Chief." They treat you like a superhero.
The Last of Us punishes you for existing in that world.
And then like Halo's like a fantasy.
Yeah, you know, the power fantasy.
Power fantasy.
Yeah, kind of like Destiny. So,
yeah.
Anyways, that's what I've been playing.
All right, we can get into the. I have a segment on here. We can keep doing this, but I think this will just be a temporary segment on certain weeks that is relevant. And this segment is sort of what has come to Game Pass recently on Xbox. And as of today, September 3rd, they just added Resident Evil 7.
That blows my mind.
How do you say that?
It's Luna Nights. I'll just remove the first word.
Tuhu Luna Nights. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what that is. And then they also added Jackbox Party Pack 4. I'm excited to play that. And then on PC, you can get Crusader Kings 3.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
That's a new game, Crusader Kings 3.
Is it really?
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Game Pass, you've probably heard it on other podcasts, gaming podcasts, or just gaming in general. Game Pass is the best deal in games, hands down.
Yeah, my brother lent me Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
But I'll probably play the Xbox one because it has a 1X patch and runs at 60 frames. So I'll probably just...
That's even more scary.
Yeah. I haven't played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never played 7.
Okay, so you lent it to you, you didn't play it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 1.
I lent you that. I forgot about that.
You lent me that. Okay.
And then also new for the month of September, out today, or out Tuesday, for PlayStation Plus is Street Fighter 5 and PUBG is on PS4.
Interesting.
I don't know if I'll
So
play
Street Fighter 5.
I kind of want to play Street Fighter 5.
I downloaded it.
You did?
I got it and I downloaded it because it is PlayStation exclusive.
What? Yeah, it is.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Weird. Wasn't it an arcade game?
Yeah.
And then it was a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And then
it was everywhere. It was on everything. And then now
Xbox. What happened? So
it's just that's just another example of PlayStation 4's exclusives. It's like you go on the Microsoft store and you're like, oh, what games can I get on my Xbox? Oh, okay.
So
Wasteland 3. That's about it.
That's the Xbox problem right now. Is I've been gaming with PS4, like hardcore gaming with PS4 this whole generation, and I did most of my gaming on PS4. Then when I got my Xbox, I had that problem of when I went to go look at the Microsoft store. It was the same games I've been seeing for years. There's
all the 360 games.
All of them are cool. Those are the ones I'm actually getting.
Yeah.
It's not the games that are also on PS4 because I had that problem where PS4. Yeah, I already saw those games. Those games have already been on sale for years on the PS4. They've had sales, and I could have gotten them back then. When I started playing on Xbox a lot. I didn't feel the need to get them. So that's the problem Xbox has right now is that exclusive. We could get into that on a different episode too, but exclusivity...
It's just bad, yeah.
It's bad, but also they are the gamer-focused, the gamer-focused system.
They're doing the most stuff that feels like pro-consumer.
Pro-consumer, pro-agnostic.
And there's the theory, that they're only doing it because they're behind in the console war,
but they might.
But whatever. I mean, Sony's never been pro-consumer, so it's not like it helps you.
Yeah.
In any way.
But being able to xCloud, I think, will change the game here. So
if it comes on iPhone,
dude, that's another topic.
Half of the phones in the world that people can't play on.
Game Pass and xCloud at their core is the selling point for Xbox. Any Xbox, Xbox One even. You could get a cheap Xbox One.
xCloud, for anybody who doesn't know, is just the streaming service for Xbox. Yeah.
It's Netflix for games.
Yeah, basically.
And
Stadia.
But it's better because you don't buy the games. Because Stadia, you still have to buy the games.
Well, apparently you don't have to have the subscription.
But you have to pay.
You have to buy them. You have to pay them. You have to buy the game. Yeah.
Why would I do that?
To stream it. Yeah, to pay full price.
Why would I pay full price?
I thought you had to pay a yearly fee and buy them, but apparently you don't. Apparently that's for the starter founder pack or some special thing. Or no, it's for 4K. I think. I don't know.
Google Stadia
it's confusing mess.
is gonna fail. It has failed.
It already has.
It already has failed, and Game Pass is taking it over because Game Pass did it right. Game Pass is a monthly subscription.
Even PlayStation Now is more appealing than Stadia.
Oh yeah,
is.
yeah.
And that's not even that amazing.
I know, you get like 2 games a month, but it's still better.
And they don't put games on release on PlayStation
And
Now.
you get discounts, right? Discounts on PlayStation Plus. So again, I think we're gonna have our PlayStation 5s be our exclusivity console or whatever, and then we'll have Xbox is. I think I'm gonna have it be everything else. I'm gonna have it be my third party.
The thing is, though, is Microsoft will probably have a lot of good exclusives in 2 to 3 years.
Oh yeah,
because they just did that event a couple months ago about where they announced the new Fable,
the Medium, which is launching with it, I believe.
Yeah,
the launch of the Xbox. There was Outer Wilds.
It just feels like they're so mismanaged now because their premier flagship game Halo missed its launch window. So it just feels like they're so down in the dumps.
Yeah,
right
it's old news right now. We could get into it a little bit, but it's a bummer that happened because that was every gamer from the early 2000s was super excited,
and it was going to be free. The multiplayer was
going to be free. It would have been the best thing for Xbox since Halo Combat Evolved.
Yeah, they're just going to kind of stumble out the gate and pick up their sales next year, hopefully, if they can.
It's a bummer. But hey, I'm still going to buy their stuff, so...
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, we can go into the games coming out this week. I already said Crusader Kings 3. That's on PC. It's a strategy game. I don't know much about it.
Okay.
Not really for us. Wasteland 3 is on multi-platform, and it's also on Game Pass already.
Yeah, Wasteland 3
came out last year. Last week.
Isn't that the Fallout? It's it's before Fallout, right? Or
I don't think it's related to Fallout.
I thought it came out and it was another type of Fallout. Like it's a kind of that same universe almost.
Wasteland 3.
Did it come out before Fallout?
Is role-playing video game developed by In Exile and published by Deep Silver.
2020. Yeah. Anyways,
it's just an RPG.
Yeah, it's an RPG. It is top down, so it's different than Fallout. But I think it's in it's obviously in a wasteland, so it is that Fallout kind of.
What's the name?
Yeah, and that's kind of from what I've heard of it is it is if you like Fallout, you probably would like Wasteland because the story beats and it's just a different gameplay style, so you'd have to get a hold of that. So.
Yeah. Also, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater comes out Friday. The remaster of 1 and 2. I'm excited to get that eventually. And then...
Are you going to buy it when it comes out?
Probably not. It comes out tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Shoot. I don't know. How much is it? I don't know. I just bought
$40. I think it's 40.
I just bought Diablo, so I'll probably play that first and then get the Tony Hawk. And then Marvel's Avengers came out a couple days ago. And that has I've seen some of the beta impressions and they weren't negative, but they were kind of mixed. I feel like people overall are kind of just lukewarm. They're not really it has a 76 Metacritic score right
Okay.
now. 5.8 user score.
Honestly, I might get flack for this, but I'm kind of more of a DC guy. DC Universe, not necessarily Marvel. I like the Marvel movies better, but the universe of DC, like the characters and stuff, I think I tend to lean towards that more. Probably because of my childhood. I was a big Batman fan.
Growing up, I loved the Batman and Superman animated series on WB.
Oh yeah. Oh, what was it? What was the? Smallville. I watched every episode of Smallville. But so when this game got announced,
I love the Marvel movies, and this game looks boring.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm not alone in this one.
That's the problem too. Is that after Avengers
generic.
The thing is, though, is after Avengers Endgame, I'm kind of.
We're done.
I'm done.
We finished.
It was like the end.
We completed our story.
It was funny. Like I saw Avengers Endgame. I was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I
can't top it.
But I thought when I saw it, I'm kind of interested to see what they do after this.
Yeah.
And I had friends I don't care anymore. That was it. I'm done with it now. That was the end of it for me. And I was like, I don't really see that yet. And then I saw Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
which came out a little bit after it, and I was just I'm kind of done. Like it was
you went from end of the universe,
yeah,
end of the
it was
multiverse, and
it was like this giant 3-hour finale, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But then they're like acting like it's still going on. It's like it feels like it's over now.
Yeah, and spoilers. I won't get into spoilers.
Yeah, I don't have to spoil the Avengers, but
yeah,
everybody can watch it on Disney Plus now anyway.
Yeah, and so going back to Marvel's Avengers, when they show, it's never showed well, and to me it seems generic. Yes, it might have that Destiny problem or that Anthem problem or that Division problem.
Yeah.
Where it comes out, it's like a game of service, but it stumbles out the start. Oh, Fallout 76, right? Had the same kind of problems.
I think it's going to do well, though.
It's going to do well because it's Marvel.
And, like, every kid is going to play it.
Yeah.
And it's
whether it's a shitty game or not.
And it has, didn't it have, like, the battle passes for, like, every character or whatever?
Yeah. And then the exclusivity with
Spider-Man
is just kind of gross and...
it looks boring. I watched Alana Pierce play a little bit of the beta, and it was just, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks boring, and it just looks like a button masher.
Yeah.
The thing
it looked like Anthem to me.
Yeah.
Like, it just looked like a
At
generic
least Anthem had
Destiny
abilities,
clone.
and that's the thing with Destiny.
All these games just try to mimic Destiny without actually being fun to play.
Exactly.
It's just,
you need to have that core.
Yeah. And I haven't played Destiny in years, but that game plays so much better.
It's still fun. Yeah. The mechanics in the game, just the base shooting and loop of that game is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing with Destiny is you have kind of this fantastical universe where it's like everything's new. Like it's still Earth and it's still our universe, but everything's cool and new and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
With Marvel, and you make your character. I think that's the main point. Is like you make your character. This is your guardian in Destiny, right?
Yeah.
So you get to grow him and dress him up however you want.
Or in any of those games, even like Fallout and stuff.
Fallout too, yeah. The problem with Marvel for me is you're kind of pigeonholed when you have these characters, these 5 characters. You have Thor or whatever, Spider-Man. You have each of these characters, and they're kind of set in their moveset because of the comic books, right? Like you can't just make up new. You can't make Thor do new things, except it has to be within that scope of his moves.
I mean, they can kind of bend the rules a little bit, I guess. But,
a little bit.
But yeah, you're right. It honestly just feels like you said, like just
generic the game.
Boxed in and just limited. It feels limited.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me more than anything, actually. And it frustrated me when they announced it because they said it was a games of service game by Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
And like they made Tomb Raider 2013 and then
really
Rise
cool.
of the Tomb Raider. I love both of those games.
Really cool story games.
And like their follow-up to those really fun open world exploration games.
Yeah,
but story. Games as service.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like BioWare.
Yeah.
Like they went from these really tight, awesome RPGs to
in-depth stories and cutscenes.
I mean, I guess they are making a new Dragon Age game, so they're probably BioWare's probably redeeming themselves. So maybe Crystal Dynamics will make a real game.
And I hope Bethesda redeems themselves.
Maybe Crystal Dynamics will make a real game.
Yeah, after that's going to get some flag.
Bethesda too. Like Starfield could be the greatest game we've ever seen. But like,
it could be the next Skyrim. It could.
Bethesda's only... They were good because during that like 2006 to 2011 vacuum, they were the only ones making those amazing games.
Huge,
and now everyone's doing it.
Now
Horizon. And there's just
they're kind of doing it better.
Too many. There's too like Ghost of Tsushima is better than Skyrim.
They're
like,
honestly,
as far as open world and
they're doing it. The games are doing it, or developers are doing it better than Bethesda. Yeah. Bethesda needs to update their engine.
But yeah, they haven't released a real game.
With Crystal Dynamics and
Fallout 4 or 5 years
and Marvel's Avengers, it's just generic. I would call it shovelware at this point.
Now we're just being unnecessary.
That's super mean. You
don't need to say that because I already said it wasn't a real game.
Yeah. So, here's what disappoints me is Spider-Man. Marvel's Spider-Man came out 2018. Was it?
Oh, the game. Yeah, Insomniac's game. Yeah,
Insomniac's game. Marvel's Spider-Man. Was incredible.
Yeah,
that
amazing.
game is an open world. Yeah. Obviously, it's not games as a service. It's a big
Crystal
epic
Dynamics
story.
Could have made a co-op tight.
It could have been like
game.
it could have been like Marvel Spider-Man, but just co-op. You could have people join in or not. But and that's what kind of disappoints me. It's hard to go off the back of this beautiful Spider-Man game where the movement and the mechanics felt amazing. How are you gonna mimic that with Spider-Man next year when they release it on PS4? How are you gonna mimic that?
I just
It's
know
it's gonna fall short.
I don't know anything about the Avengers game beyond like surface level.
Okay.
But I just know I just have this image in my head of, all right, I'm gonna play as generic Marvel characters completing Destiny-style bounties in this boring vacuum of a world. Like, I just picture, like, vanilla Destiny with Marvel characters is what I'm picturing.
Honestly, I picture the
really
same.
Boring.
That says something. If we both pictured the same thing without talking to each other
it could be an amazing game, but it's I have no interest in it, really.
Yeah,
so
I did. The cutscenes did look good, though. Cutscenes look cool.
I didn't even see the cutscenes.
Okay, so there was, when they revealed it last year, I think there was, like, they did a whole couple
Oh, I did see the trailer, yeah.
Yeah.
Cutscenes in it.
Those looked cool, you know? Nolan North, I think, and Troy Baker. Just throwing names
Is Troy Baker
out.
in it? He could be. I don't know.
He's
Is he Thor?
He's everything. He's in everything.
He's in. That's what was crazy about Red Dead Redemption 2. It didn't have any.
It didn't have big names.
The staples in it.
Who played Arthur Morgan or whatever?
I forget his name.
Just some no name.
There's a couple. Ghost of Tsushima's like that too. It's nice having a game.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't have Troy Baker.
Yeah.
They didn't have Troy Baker play some Japanese character.
I know. Well, that was cool about Ghost of Tsushima is they actually had
Japanese actors.
Yeah, and actresses, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool they did that because they didn't have to, but they went out of their way to do it, and they what did they consult with? Who is that one movie director? Did they have to consult with him or get permission to put Hiroshima or not Hiroshima mode? What's the mode called?
Kurosawa's dead.
Kurosawa. Okay, see, I don't know. I don't know enough about.
He made like the old
Kurosawa mode.
Yeah, Kurosawa mode. He made
he made the black
Seven
and whites.
Samurai. I'm trying to look up the years. He made like Seven Samurai and all those old.
I wonder if they had to get the rights for those things.
Probably not. It's just black and white. They probably consulted like, just I don't know.
Yeah. Studios
in Japan.
And those are really cool things, you know, to see games actually going in that direction and actually being representative of culture and people.
Yeah.
You know, and being aware, at least being
it's funny,
self-aware
like
about
the
it.
studio in Seattle makes this amazing,
right?
Like feudal Japan.
It did really well in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I heard, it's done.
Well, it
really
also has the people, like you can play it with the Japanese voice
actors, yeah.
And they use like really good, renowned Japanese actors.
That's awesome.
Like from animes and stuff that people love.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I remember my brother was excited about that. He's playing it in Japanese for some reason.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, we can segue into the news. You know what? Since we were talking about the Avengers, I'll just talk about this little bit I put in here for the news, which is that the Marvel's Avengers, that's what it's called. Marvel's Avengers beta was the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history.
Wow.
So you can take that for what it is.
Most downloaded beta in PlayStation history. Okay.
Yeah, that's from Push Square. They said, let me.
I'm trying to run through my head
of what other betas there were.
Yeah, what other betas.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's why I brought it up because it's like, okay,
Call of Duty's had betas.
Have they?
Yeah, I played Call of Duty, whatever Infinite or.
I feel like since it was an independent download. Let's see. This is from Push Square. Most downloaded beta to ever grace a PlayStation console with the many high-profile betas that have come and gone over the years. That's pretty impressive.
Wow.
But yeah, that's sourced from Twitter, Square Enix's Twitter account.
So what that's saying to me is that it's Marvel's bigger than Call of Duty, but that's not saying much.
No, I mean, it's just on PlayStation 2, so it might just be affected by I don't know. Are betas available for Call of Duty? Like, is it an independent download? Does that even count in there?
I don't. Maybe you have to pre-order it.
Like
but I didn't pre-order Infinite. I got the beta, so
yeah.
I think there's open betas and whatnot. I don't know if they're counting open betas. This wasn't an open beta. Maybe that's what it is. It was the most downloaded or pre-purchased beta. Maybe that's the statistic behind it. I don't know. I'd have to look into it more.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a weird one. I mean, it speaks to how big a cultural phenomenon Marvel is, and the Avengers specifically. Yeah. How big that is, you know. Mm-hmm. Even this game, if this game comes out, was it tomorrow? And if it comes out and it's just awful, it won't matter. Honestly, it's going to be a success. They're going to make it a success, right?
Yeah.
They're going to
It'll
have
be
to.
Huge. Yeah.
They have to. You know what? I'll end up playing it. It'll come to. Here's the thing.
You're like talking endless crap on the game.
It just
for
looks.
like
it doesn't
10
look
minutes
like
straight. We went on a huge rant about it, and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna play it. Yeah, I'm gonna."
This is the thing when you're a gaming addict, you end up playing all what people are talking about. So I'll end up playing it if there's enough talk
That's the
around
thing with
it.
Game Pass. Is like, oh yeah, you download this 90 gig game and you play it for like 5 hours. Like, okay, I've had my fill. This 90 gig game.
Seriously though,
hit my download cap.
Yeah, exactly. That's the great thing about Game Pass is you can jump in, jump out. There's no strings attached. Yeah, and that I wanted to play this beta for Marvel's Avengers, but it wasn't free. You had to
pre-order the game. That's actually kind of crazy that it was that high and you had to pre-order it.
So maybe that's where that statistic comes from.
That's why it's big news, really.
That is big news.
Here's the biggest news from today is everything. This is from IGN. Top story, everything announced in the Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary Direct. Now, there was a rumor earlier this year, you remember, that said that, a bunch of old Mario games are going to come to Switch, remastered this year. In typical Nintendo See, I'm phrasing this in a fun way because Josh hasn't heard this news yet.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Yeah. I was at work all day and I didn't have time to look at the news, so.
They're releasing a game called Super Mario 3D All-Stars on September 18th, and it includes Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, the GameCube game, and Super Mario Galaxy, one of the Wii games.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it'll be September 18th, $60, and it's its own independent game, and it's called Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which that harkens back to on the Super Nintendo, they had a Super Mario All-Stars that was the original 3 Mario Brothers, like a remastered collection with new graphics. It was like the first HD collection on the Super Nintendo. And so it harkens back to that name. It's like the 3D All-Stars.
Okay, is this something you buy? What's it called? Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and
it's available.
You just buy that, or can you purchase these games individually, or is it just like you buy this and you get all 3?
So for that specific game, let me find the info here in this article.
I wonder if it's like full price. It's Nintendo. It's got to be $60.
It is full price. I know that.
3 games though, it's $20 a game.
For sure. Oh, here's the actual article. So, it has optimized versions of the 3D Mario games, Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. It includes an in-game music player mode to play the music and songs from all 3 games. That's kind of cool. Smash Brothers had that. All 3 games have updated Joy-Con controls with Rumble, and players will be able to use motion controls in Galaxy if they wish, which is amazing. That means you don't have to. I was worried that you would have to use the motion controls in Galaxy, like you waggle to spin around or whatever. Yeah. And Sunshine will also have a widescreen mode. I don't think Mario 64 will. They don't say that it does. A press release explains that the game will receive a limited physical release.
What?
Limited physical release. So limited amount at launch, and it will only be available digitally until March 31st, 2021.
Wait. What? What?
It's a limited release digitally, so like you'll only be able to download this specific collection of games from September 18th to March 31st.
Why do that?
I have no idea.
Well,
and like it says at the bottom, March 31st, and they're removing it.
Okay, I buy a console April 1st. You
can't buy the game. You
can't buy the game.
You could probably re-download it.
April Fool's to me because I bought on April 1st.
You probably can re-download it. Like so let's say you buy it and then your Switch breaks a year later, and you could probably re-download it. You probably just can't buy it again.
See, Nintendo's so weird with this because they don't have.
My theory is that they're gonna do like a Disney Vault style thing where like here's these 3 games out now, you can get them now, and then like a year from now they're like, hey, here's another collection of 3 games you can get limited. I know it's stupid. The fact is it's stupid.
That's anti-consumer.
It's really dumb.
It's
so dumb.
But
at the bottom here it says we've contacted Nintendo for clarification on whether the game will be available again in any form after that time. And as of today, no one's been able to get clear information on that.
This might be looking too far into it, but is that scummy? Is that like basically? I wouldn't buy the game until maybe a sale, but now I have to buy the game.
That's why they're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. That makes me uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get.
I want to play. I want to play Sunshine in widescreen with.
Oh man. Or handheld. Was it handheld before?
Yeah. No, Sunshine was only on GameCube.
So
Sunshine has been stranded on the GameCube forever. It's never been re-released.
I'll probably get my official Gaming Pro card removed or something for saying this, but that's my biggest gap. Was I played all the Super Mario Bros. Up until 64, Mario 64.
Did you play them on the NES or on the
Both?
retro?
I played it. No, I played them on the NES when they came out.
I only played the first one originally, and then I played them
what
later.
was? Oh no, I played. There was 64.
Yeah.
Is that there? And then what was World? Super Mario
World is Super Nintendo.
So which one was the 3D one?
64.
Okay, so I played up to 64.
Okay.
And then that was the first 3D Mario?
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as 3D Marios, I've only played Odyssey.
Oh, really? You haven't played 64?
And 64.
Oh, okay.
But I never beat 64. I just
really?
played it for fun when I was a kid.
I only beat it like 2 years ago.
Okay.
For the first time. I just played it, even though I had it in 64. I played it on an emulator.
Wow. Okay, so this is exciting for me because 64 is a big gap. And then was it Sunshine and the Galaxy? Never played. Yeah. So. And I loved Odyssey, I've heard really good things about Galaxy.
I love Galaxy.
I've heard Galaxy is some people's favorites over Odyssey even.
Galaxy 2 might be better than 1.
Yeah.
Galaxy 1 has like a big overworld. You have to like navigate around and get to the levels. Galaxy 2 is just like right into the levels.
Okay.
Right into the self-contained levels. And that's why people like it more.
That's what Odyssey did.
Yeah, that's what Odyssey does.
You picked a planet, right?
Yeah, you picked a planet. But like Odyssey's different because you pick a planet, it's like a big world you can explore.
Yeah.
Galaxy is like, here's this little area of thing, like a self-contained level, like an older Mario game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's like 64 is like that.
I might like that.
And I haven't played Sunshine. But Sunshine everybody loves now. Everybody, I feel like, disliked it when it came out. But
is it the motion controls? Which ones had motion?
Galaxy.
Yeah. And people hated that, I assume?
At the time, we just put up with it.
Yeah.
They'd probably hate it now. If they forced it now. If they forced it on the... Because I was worried about that. I was worried they'd force the motion controls.
So this is good news and bad news. Like, it's good news because I'm excited to play these Mario games.
There's more bad news.
Great.
Super Mario 3D Worlds, which was the 3D Mario game that came out on Wii U, is coming out... Yeah, it's the 3D Wii U Mario game. Because now there's Mario 64 on GameCube, or no, there's Sunshine on GameCube, then there's Galaxy 1 and 2 on Wii. Okay. Wii U had 3D
World, okay.
And then Switch has Odyssey.
Yeah. No one's heard of 3D World.
It's coming out as its own separate game in February for $60.
Oh, gross. Oh, is it because it's a Wii U port, so they treat it like that?
It's like the deluxe version, basically.
And
everybody thought they were gonna lump in like a big Mario collection, but
that would have been epic.
Yeah,
they should have threw this in there.
Yeah, they should have thrown that in there too.
That is bad news.
Yeah.
We always rebuy Mario games. Like Nintendo has a tendency of making their games available again, right? And then we buy it.
Yeah.
We still buy it, but. Is it right? I don't know.
I mean, I think that what they were doing with the Switch Online, re-releasing games in there, they just have released enough games in there.
I was hoping for a Nintendo,
64. Yeah, GameCube even put GameCube games in there.
Put a 64.
Put Sunshine in there. Like, why do we need to buy it? That's why.
Yeah,
that's why they're not in there. Because they want us to buy them.
And we pay them $20 a year for this.
They know they can't make us buy Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo games again a la carte. Yeah. So they're like, well, they'll probably buy it 64 and GameCube games all the
but we will.
And Wii U games, yeah. But they know we won't buy the Super Nintendo games again.
No.
Because we already bought them on Wii U, and 3DS.
So how excited are you for this release? Even though there's some bad news tied.
I'm excited for the release. I mean, it's stupid that they're taking it off the store after a while. But I'm excited to play them.
But for you personally, that doesn't affect you because you're gonna buy it anyways.
I'm just gonna buy it anyway.
Okay, and it's $60.
I might not buy it day one, but I'll buy it at some point.
Yeah, guess what? There's no way they're going to put it on sale.
It's not going to go on sale.
It's not going on sale.
And if it does, I'll be mad.
Yeah, dude. Everyone would be pissed if that happened.
They don't do that, though.
They wouldn't do it.
They don't put games on sale anyway.
I have 20-something games on my wish list on my Switch.
Because
I'm waiting for sales for them.
Only the third-party games.
They do email you. It's kind of
cool. And it's usually just third-party games.
It's usually third-party, and honestly, it's never first-party games for Switch.
Mario Rabbids was...
$15 or something.
Cheap, but that's also made by Ubisoft too.
Yeah,
so it's not really even a first-party game.
It bums me out.
There's news you'll like though, which is
Okay.
this game called Super Mario Brothers 35. It's a Mario Battle Royale
What?
online game.
Oh, is this like
So it's,
Tetris 99?
yeah, it's like that. Look,
No
it has like the
way.
same HUD layout.
No way.
35 players in a battle game for the last Mario standing.
Oh, I'm in. Is this free?
It's just
Like
from.
Tetris 99?
I'll just read this here. It's from. This is from IGN. Enemies that are defeated will be sent to other players' courses. It's like when you jump on an enemy, it sends them to other people. It's like you'll select. It's like Tetris 99.
Yeah.
To select their like little
Who
window.
you're attacking.
Yeah, who you're attacking. And there's special items around the maps that hinder your opponents. The game will be released as a digital-only game exclusive to Nintendo Switch
Members.
online members.
Oh.
And it's only available until March 31st.
Wait, only playable?
Yeah, so they're gonna
No, or
they're
only-
gonna remove it from the store March 31st.
No,
as
but
well.
no. Look, it says Nintendo has also stated it will only be playable until
Yeah.
March 31st. That's different than the All Stars, Mario All Stars, because Mario All Stars it was
You don't have
only
to buy this. That's why it's phrased differently. This is just available as part of the Nintendo Switch Online for free.
So then that's the difference. Is it even if you download and play it, you're only going to be able to play it until March 31st. That's
Yeah.
what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But Super Mario All Stars you can play after March 31st if you bought it.
Yes. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
See
It is
what I
very
mean?
different. Yeah, you can't even play it anymore.
That sucks. Why would they do this?
I
Tetris
don't know.
99
It's
is still
frustrating.
going.
Like, what if it's really good? Like,
Yeah, and Tetris 99, I say 99 because my wife calls it 99. I thought it was funny, but I think it's Tetris 99. But Tetris 99 is an incredible game, and it's one of those games I play.
Did they ever add like party features to it? Or
They
you
added
group up
different
with
games.
friends?
They added things where you can you can battle against each other
Oh, that's
type
cool.
of thing. So 1v1
Oh,
or
okay.
something. I think you could do. There's also teams. There's quads, like
Yeah.
so fours. So it's kind of like every other battle royale. So me and you can team up technically and play against other 99 or whatever. But that's disappointing because Tetris 99 is that comfort food game for me.
Mhm.
It's literally if I'm bored and don't want to play anything or don't want to watch a TV show or whatever, and I have 20 minutes left of the evening, I'll just jump on that and just zone out and listen to a podcast while playing. Those type of games are needed, and why would you take this off the store, or actually why would you remove it from even being able to be played?
Playable. It's
that
really
blows
dumb.
my mind.
I kind of hope they go back on that, but who knows? Like if it's really popular and really successful, and they like say it's continued, it's very weird. I really don't get it why it's limited.
that
What their
frustrates.
thinking is.
That's frustrating. That's
Imagine you made the game.
Dude,
Like
yeah.
you're one of the people who made it, and it's just like, wow, I can't wait for people to experience my game for 7 months.
7 months and then taking off. And guess what's coming out this year? Freaking new consoles. Right? So new cons. Well, this is what I'm getting at. You got new consoles. You got Cyberpunk 2077. You got all these giant games. Why would I be spending time with, whatever
Yeah.
this is, Mario Bros 35 or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, why would I be spending time with that
Yeah.
when I have all these giant games to play?
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't make sense. Is this
Yeah.
their way to combat the console launches?
Maybe.
Or do they not
Like
even
this
care?
temporary thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like-
maybe that's what this is. Yeah.
Think about that the new console within the console launch window is probably till March. Like that's probably how they're looking at it.
Yeah.
It's like console launch were first quarter of the year, right? Till
Yeah.
the end of March. So they're probably doing this to get people to keep playing Nintendo Switch,
Mhm.
while the new consoles are in their first quarter. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe they're just trying to generate money for this quarter or whatever.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like get subscribers from the Battle Royale game, and then get some game sales from the other one. They also put up. What were we saying?
Every time I hear stuff like this from Nintendo or
Nintendo's
PlayStation,
always been weird. like that.
PlayStation's been doing it too recently,
Yeah.
even with like the timed exclusives of just one. What was there a time?
Spider-Man.
What was the time exclusive where it was only 1 month timed exclusive? There was something crazy like that. I forget which game it was, but they do shit like that all the time, and it bothers me. It actually makes me like Xbox more. The
Just
more
because it's
just
annoying.
yeah, it's like the big F you to the man type
Yeah.
of thing. Like, hey, I'm gonna play Xbox because at least I know when I turn on my Xbox, I have my entire library available to me.
My entire library.
It's not. No, my games aren't going to disappear on March 31st.
Turn on my Xbox and it has my library of one game, the Master Chief Collection, and nothing else. That's all I play on the Xbox.
Oh man.
That's all I want it for. That's all.
It's the Halo generator.
Halo
it's
machine.
the Halo machine. Yeah.
That's not true though.
It's not.
I need to play Hellblade at some point.
Dude, Hellblade's good. I actually made a list of Xbox exclusive games that I went back and played. I'm
gonna play Resident Evil.
Rise, Son of Rome is the most underrated game.
It's a launch game.
It's a launch game, launch exclusive for Xbox One, and it's underrated.
Really?
I played it. I was blown away.
It's like a first-person.
No, it's third person. It's over the shoulder.
Oh, that was first person.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of like Gears of War-esque, where it's like over the shoulder or kind of 3. It's actually more over the shoulder. It puts you into the game, and it's very combat focused, but combos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's a combo game. So. But it's an underplayed, underrated game for sure. But again, yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier that they had like the Mario Brothers 3D All Stars that's coming out, which is the collection of 3 new games. They're also putting out the Super Mario All Stars game on Super Nintendo, which is...
Wait, what's that?
It's the first 3 NES Mario games.
That's what you're talking
with
about.
Updated graphics for the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
And so they're putting that on the
So Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, and Super Mario Bros 3.
Yeah. And the Lost Levels, which is the Japanese version of Mario Bros 2.
Oh, interesting.
Which is...
Okay,
I recommend...
That's online, you said? It's
on the Super Nintendo Online. The little
so
app
it's included with your online... Okay, so you don't have to buy it.
Yeah, you just play all 3 of those. Or 4.
Okay.
I recommend everybody play Mario Brothers The Lost Levels because it's a nightmare. It is so hard, and you have to play with save states. It's unbeatable. It like messes with you,
really,
and like the whole game, it's a troll. Like it trolls you, and like there'll be missing blocks that you can only see if you like jump in a certain place, and like super annoying crap. There's like boss stages where you run in an infinite loop forever unless you go a certain sequence of levels up or down, and if you don't do the right sequence, it just keeps looping over. It doesn't tell you or give you any hints.
So you don't think
you have to like look it up. Yeah, you don't even realize you're looping
until you're 20 minutes in, and you're like,
not that long. It's a minute, but yeah, everybody should play that because it's hilariously hard.
I'll try it out because I know all 3 of those games, maybe even the Lost Levels or whatever. I think that's already on.
Yeah, Lost Levels is already on there.
It's already on NES.
But I think this updated version has better graphics.
So those games were NES.
Yeah.
So if you go on the NES little app,
you can play them on the NES.
Okay, but
they
now
just released
this one
the remastered versions
on SNES.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that.
And they're different. They have some different changes to them too.
Maybe I'll try that out tonight. It's my holiday weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Labor Day. Some other quicker news after that is that there was this thing from this podcast called the Games Beat Podcast. This is from Push Square, so citing this. The guy on that podcast named Jeff Grubb has been stating for a while that he knows that there's a Mass Effect trilogy remaster coming out. Oh, he knows for a fact that it's coming.
He's the E3 guy, right? Jeffy Grubb, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's been saying for a while that he knows that it's coming. And that's why everybody was like really excited for them to announce it at the last 2 EA events, and they haven't talked about it.
No.
And apparently there was supposed to be an October 2020 release date for it.
Whoa.
And he's saying, this is a direct quote from him. He's saying not a direct quote. Oh yeah, this is direct. I know it's real. I've seen more than enough evidence to know it's real. It's still 2020, but they haven't announced it yet for some reason. So
you think they're gonna wait? When is the N7 day? Is it November 7th?
Yeah, people are thinking that they're gonna release it.
Maybe they'll just release it November 7th.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
I really hope they do it, and I hope it's good.
You played through them recently.
I just played them recently, yeah, on
You're
PC
still
with mods and stuff, and I probably won't because I have to buy it. And they're better on PC anyway with mods, so it's like
it's
like an inferior version.
Is this rumor for remastered, or what is it for? Just a re-release?
Nobody knows.
Huh.
People are thinking remaster, and the theory is that they like heavily redid 1.
Yeah, because the combat system is garbage. In 1.
It's not even that the combat's garbage; it's just the game is janky.
The elevators,
like it's long loads, and like there's mods on PC that make the elevators go faster.
Yeah.
That make just certain stuff run better.
Mass Effect 2 was Mass Effect 1, but better in every way.
Yeah, I mean, Mass Effect 1, 2, also on consoles runs at like 20 frames a second. It's terrible.
I remember that.
On PC it runs perfectly, but like on consoles it runs horribly.
I turned off film grain, I think.
Oh yeah, and motion blur. You have to turn those off.
Otherwise it's 10 frames.
Yeah,
you know?
I hate fake film grain.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
Even on Last of Us has a little bit of it, right?
Does it? I didn't even notice it, actually.
I turned it off.
You can turn it off?
Yep. Oh. Yeah, you can do a lot in Last of Us.
You can do it. Last of Us... This whole show is full of rambles and tangents. I don't even care. In Last of Us Part 2, you can do that crazy thing where you can isolate the whole image to be gray.
Yeah.
And then just items are a certain color and enemies are red or whatever.
Enemies are red, items are yellow.
I wanted that in Ghost of Tsushima so badly. Like, I was, like, scrolling through the accessibility options, like, reading line for line, like, it's gotta be in here.
Yeah.
Like, I want to find every piece of iron I can find.
Oh, man. Iron's a commodity.
It's, like, I miss so much stuff. Yeah. Like, I'll run all the way around, like, a little area. Like,
you're tapping R2 the whole time, right?
And I'm, like, convinced I got everything. I'm like, I'm going to go back around one more time. And then I missed, like, a thing of steel. Like, every time I missed something. My
rule was twice. I would go through it once. I would pick up stuff even on the way. Because I stealthed that game a lot. So I would stealth and pick up stuff while I'm stealthing. And then I would pick up stuff twice. I would go back through twice and pick things up. And games need to do better at that. Come on, I'm playing a goddamn video game. Like, let me see the item I'm trying to pick up. And make it a giant box so I can pick, like... I don't know how that works on the development side, but let me not have to aim at a specific point, like a tiny little point, and hit the right button.
Like Animal Crossing, or you dig in one specific hole, click the wrong thing.
Oh man, games need to get better.
Yeah. That's the main thing for the news. That's like the main stuff, especially for today.
That's hefty news. That's a lot of news.
I mean, we didn't go over everything. I kind of just went over the stuff that I think is interesting.
Wow. That's a lot of news.
There's also this article from IGN where you can now, starting today, you can pre-order games on Switch without paying for them.
That's cool.
So it'll charge you 7 days before the game comes out. So you can pre-order that Mario game now, and it won't charge you.
They're doing this to offset their non-consumer friendly things.
It'll also tell you when a game's sale ends. So then I won't be screwed over with like Diablo 3 again.
Okay, no, it does that already.
I guess it's more obvious now.
Okay,
like games with a discount now are marked with how much longer the discount applies for.
Oh wow,
that's the only difference.
So that's cool. That's really cool. That's in the interface now. I'm assuming
that's from IGN.
Because I wouldn't know until I get an email, right?
Yeah.
So if you put games on your wish list on Switch, it actually shows up. I think you might have to sign up for it, but it shows up in an email saying, "Hey, this game's on your wish list." And I love that feature because I could see, this game's on my wish list, and it's on sale, and this is how long it's on sale for. That's really cool, and I'm glad they're doing it in the interface now. I don't have to go to my email. That's cool. I like that.
So that's it for the news. If we had beaten a game this past week, I'd say we review it, but we haven't really,
The last
we don't
game
have any comprehensive reviews to give out.
Yeah, I didn't prepare for this. The last game I beat was Ghost of Tsushima. I will say, as of now, it is my game of the year, even over The Last of Us, even over Animal Crossing. And that's mainly because it is a game. It is a gamey game that is, I'm a sucker for gamey games that don't make me work too hard to, it still gave a great story. It still executed these great story arcs and these cool character developments and all that, but it was a game and it was fun. It was fun to play.
Yeah.
Getting those standoffs just right, where you can wipe out that entire camp before you even enter the camp. Mm-hmm. Those standoff ones, or even I think they're called duels. Those were fun. Really fun.
Boss fights, basically.
I wish they can make it with some kind of DLC where either they do something where you can do a competition. I don't know what you call it, a
multiplayer.
No, either one-on-one multiplayer. But I was thinking more a tiered system. You fight this guy is not that hard, and then if you beat him, you can go to the next level and duel this guy. And you end up dueling, Spider-Man or something at the end of it. I don't know.
My goodness.
it could get ridiculous if they want.
Did you see they're adding multiplayer?
I did.
Yeah, they're adding a raid and some co-op missions.
Yeah,
it's probably not gonna. It's free, so it's probably not gonna be insane. But I'm looking forward.
I'll re-download it just for that. That sounds cool. I'll play with you on that. That sounds cool. But yeah, anyways, I won't go too far into this review. As far as Ghost of Tsushima, I think it's one of the most fun games
It kind of came out of nowhere, honestly.
Came out of nowhere.
I thought it was gonna be bad before it came out because they hadn't talked about it.
They hadn't
until
talked about it.
Like a month before it came out. They finally showed it off, and it was like, I don't know. And then it comes out, and it's this massive, dense, huge game.
Well,
like,
I was expecting more of just that first little area.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be like a tight 10-hour game.
Yeah,
and
but
it's
no.
This gigantic open world.
3 sections, and guess what? Each section introduced something new and cool. Like,
yeah.
I won't spoil anything, but
no, it already has done. Like in Act 2, it's introducing new
Act
stuff.
2. Guess what? Wait till Act 3.
Yeah.
New stuff happens, and you're like, oh, wow. So, yeah, it's a game that is a gamey game, so it is predictable, it is comfortable, but at the same time, there's some surprises in there that are really cool. Yeah. Like when you don't even duel anyone until the second act, I think. So
there's duels earlier.
There are standoffs, but there's the first like set of duels. They're okay. There might be like a small duel in the story mode, but as far as like those duels, there's like 6 or something duels that you have to go and find these guys and duel them. As far as those, that whole mechanic didn't open up till the second act. So. Yeah. Anyways, it's a gamey game. It's a comfort food game, but it's also a great story. And I won't spoil anything, but it does give you some hard choices towards the end.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually had to pause the last couple levels and just like, okay, what do I want to do here? You know. So, anyways, you'll see.
Interesting.
It is a great game. It is my game of the year so far. Until Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, and that will be my game of the year.
And Last of Us so far is my game of the year, but yeah, we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, that's my experience of the year.
Experience. I mean, I thought it was...
The gameplay mechanics were cool too.
Yeah,
they were cool. I again with those type of games, give me a room I can go back to and do some kind of challenge mode where just enemies keep spawning over and away, like a horde mode. The same with Ghost of Tsushima. That would work so well with a horde mode.
Co-op horde mode.
Think about that. A co-op horde mode where they just kept spawning enemies, harder enemies.
You could they could add in some mechanic where you chain attacks together with your friends.
Yeah.
Like some kind of weird Splinter Cell thing.
Would,
where you like in Splinter Cell you boost in Chaos Theory you boost the guy up or whatever. You could do some weird co-op moves.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Launch your friend towards people.
I'm thinking more of my classic all-time favorite game, which I should have put on my top 10 list. No, Splinter Cell. You actually mentioned it at the beginning of this episode. The Lord of the Rings games. What was it? Lord of the Rings 2 Towers?
And Return of the King.
Return of the King. Didn't one of those
Return
have
of the King had co-op. Wave Defense. They both
the Wave Defense.
They both had them.
One of them was a tower.
They're both towers.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
What happened to those? Ghost of Tsushima. If Ghost of Tsushima had... Remember, there's a couple acts or a couple missions where you go up this tower. It happens a couple times.
I think I've been that far.
Okay, so it happens a couple times where you go up a tower. They could make an endless tower thing where you fight room after room and then jump up the next ladder to the next room after it unlocks, after you beat it. And you get to see how far you get. Games used to do that, and that was really cool.
Even recently, the Batman games had those little challenge rooms you could do. Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know how hard it is to develop that. I figure it's the same assets, just throw it into a wave. But I'm not a game developer, so
it's easy. Just hit a button.
It's easy. Come on,
just do it.
Give me my game.
So we wanted to have a segment as well where we could talk about older games that we've been replaying recently. I just mentioned that I played the original Halo trilogy because Halo Master Chief Collection has these cross game playlists.
That's so
one of the achievements is to beat the Master Chief Saga playlist, which is all 4 Halo games in one continuous.
Now it's Master Chief Saga, but do you play the Arbiter levels?
Yeah.
Okay.
You play all 4 games.
So that's part of.
You don't play ODST or Reach. It's just the 1 through 4.
That's cool.
Games. And I played those, and it was amazing. 4 held up better than I remembered it.
Yeah.
Actually.
The graphics look like a current gen
4
game.
looks like a current gen game. It looks
That's
really
crazy.
Good. It looks like an early Xbox One game.
And that came out 2012?
2012, yeah. It's old, and it looks really amazing.
Looks better than Halo Infinite.
But it's I mean, this doesn't have to turn into a Halo podcast, but the Halo 1 through 3 are so good.
Yeah.
And
it's Bungie. Bungie at their best.
I have played the first 3 Halo games multiple times. Many times. Co-op.
Yeah.
I even played them by myself single player once.
Yeah.
Before. This is the first time I understood what was happening in the games because I actually not even just that. It was just the first one has subtitles, which helps. I never really had a problem with understanding the first game story.
Yeah.
But Halo 2 and Halo 3 don't have subtitles
Yeah.
for the cutscenes or for the in-game.
Really?
So, like, if you're not actively paying attention during gameplay, you miss tons of story details. Like what Cortana's telling you while you're playing. I never paid attention to it before. And this time I was like, this is going to sound insane, but I had the transcripts open for the games on my phone.
What?
So that if I, like, missed some dialogue while there was, like, a bunch of shooting going on, I would go back and look and read what they said.
No way.
Because there's, like, crucial information.
So
They're like, I didn't follow along, but they'd be like, what did they say? And I'd go and I'd look it up really quick. I just look up in the transcript what they said really fast.
There's a lot of...
I know that sounds incredibly nerdy, but it's like, there's so much stuff. Like, in Halo 2, I never understood why the Covenant even attacked Earth. Like, I never... There's, like, a passive line of dialogue towards the end of the game where Cortana's mentioning...
The Architects or something?
It was an accident. They thought they were going somewhere else. And they stumbled on Earth, and they're like, oh, shoot, okay. And then they just started attacking Earth with this tiny fleet.
What?
And Cortana talks about it in-game. Like, this 2 lines of dialogue, and then it's never mentioned again. It's like, there's tons of stuff like that. And, like, the terminals in Halo 3 are really cool.
I'm at the replay, honestly. Yeah. I was a big multiplayer guy growing up, so I mainly focused on Halo's multiplayer, and I mainly just I did beat every campaign, but I beat Halo campaign the most. Halo Combat Evolved, the most. Halo 2 the second most, but then by 3 I beat it once and that was it. I don't think I replayed 3 with you guys at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we mainly played multiplayer in those ones. I think you played more.
It's a testament
Pierce
to how little I understood the story, because not only have I played the games before, I've beaten I've beaten 3 Reach and ODST on Legendary. I've beaten them on Legendary with my friend Pierce and my brother Michael.
Yeah.
And I think you were with on one of them, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I probably jumped in on
3. I think you played ODST on Legendary with us. I could be wrong.
Yes, yeah. I believe ODST.
I could be wrong. But what's funny is I don't remember playing Reach on Legendary at all. And I went back and looked at my achievements, and I had the achievement for beating on Legendary. I was like, I don't remember doing this at all.
Wow.
But I had it, and 3 as well.
That speaks to just how fun those games are. Yeah. They're just fun. You don't need to care about the story. But they have a good story, too. Yeah. It's there if you want it. But the game itself is fun enough to even tune those things out, and you still enjoy yourself. And, but yeah, as an adult and playing through it later, I'm excited. I was planning on playing through them all again. There's no time, but but also, well, now there is time because I was trying to play them before Infinite. I was gonna start.
But now you have tons of time.
Now I got tons of time, so that actually made me stop because I was actually about to go in it after Ghost of Tsushima.
That's one of the reasons why I replayed them. So like leading up to Infinite. And now it's like,
so I stopped on purpose though because guess what's coming out? The Series X. So I want to play them on Series X and just instant load times and all that. I feel like
that's true.
Yeah, I'll get the best experience, the quickest experience.
They'll probably release an optimized patch or whatever.
I'm sure.
And
it's 343.
You'll beat like the first level and just like instant loads to the next level. Maybe that'd be sweet.
It's a multiplayer loading in that quick too. That'd be cool. You don't have to wait around for.
That's not going to work for like. It's
crossplay.
Weird.
Crossplay might screw it up.
Infinite's definitely going to have crossplay. If it even comes out on Xbox
Series X guys all load in, and the other
what if Infinite doesn't even come out on Xbox One?
I'm kind of in the camp of don't.
Yeah, I mean,
don't.
I want it to, but if it doesn't, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
What older game have you been playing?
So this one's fun. This one's called. It's called MX Unleashed.
I've never played this.
So do you even know what it is?
I played a game called ATV Off-Road Fury.
Okay,
back in the day.
It might be even the same developers.
I never played the game. I just played the split screen where you run around and we would just try to crash into each other with ATVs. That's pretty much all I did.
That's the game.
Yeah, so that's what I figured.
My brother and I loved playing this game as kids. It's probably, I think it's a 2002 game or something. Really, it's 2003. It's something really early in the Xbox. It's an Xbox original.
Okay.
So Xbox original game. MX Unleashed. It's it's the motocross. That's when motocross was pretty big back in the day. Kind of like skateboarding. It was really big back in the day, and MX and motocross were as well. But so we didn't really care about the motocross part as much.
Yeah.
But this game allowed you, even back when it came out. there was a free roam mode, and so you go into this giant open world, which is unheard of back then.
Yeah.
And you can just start wherever and go wherever. You can make your own courses. You can jump. You could say, hey, we used to play a horse or a pig or whatever, right?
But yeah, we would do that too.
Yeah, so you would say,
that.
okay, try to do this trick. I'm going to do a backflip with a handstand, and then land, all that, right? And so you would play games like in games that weren't even part of the original game, right? Which I love that about games. You can make your own games up within the games.
Yeah.
It made it really fun. It was really replayable. I'm playing through the, I guess, quote unquote campaign, but there's no story. It's just like a sports game.
There's
it's
no
like,
story. There's no Need for Speed style.
No. All it is
some punk pulls up next to you in his MX bike.
Hey, dude, bro. I bet you can't beat me. No, so it's more of just like a sports game where you play through a Supercross event.
Yeah.
Where you have 10 races and you have to get
like Gran Turismo or whatever.
Yeah, there's no story. So, but it's
Forza.
cool. It's just mindless fun. The tracks, I don't know what they did with I don't know how they did it back in the day, but everything felt kind of great. You know what I mean? Like,
isn't it an original Xbox game?
It's an OG Xbox game, and it still feels better than a lot of racers or racing mechanics in games. Similar to when you get into go on a motorcycle in GTA or Watch Dogs or something like that. Sometimes it just feels kind of janky, right? This game somehow has the magic sauce.
There's a lot of OG Xbox, like that gen, PS2, GameCube. There's a good amount of games from that gen that just up-res them, they'd work today just fine. Like they play perfectly.
That's what I think this is. I believe
for every Shadow of the Colossus that ran terribly, there's a bunch of other games that's just it still is playable. Yeah,
that's what I commend about this game. I'm playing it, and I have kind of just nostalgic memory with it as far as the motions and the controls and literally even the wait times.
Load screens?
Load screens. I remember the load screens and the time it would take in between load screens, and they're faster now, so it's throwing me off. But I commend it for that. It's quicker load times. It's definitely 60 frames a second.
Oh, really? It's enhanced or whatever?
They enhanced it.
It could have been 60 frames at the time. I don't know.
Maybe. There were games that were 60 frames back then, but I don't remember. I just assume it was 30 back then. Yeah. So either way, it's still 60 frames. It's a smooth 60, though. It's a very smooth 60. Yeah. They still have the same songs. I don't know how they have the trademark for those songs still. It doesn't seem like they removed any songs because I'm hearing the same songs I heard when I was a kid. Huh. So it's all like hard rock songs. That's just kind of.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
That the songs have no problem being in there. Maybe when you re-release an old game, it's different.
It's different
than a remastered thing.
Yeah, maybe the remastered.
Because when they did Crazy Taxi remastered, they stripped all the songs out of it.
Yeah, and that's a bummer.
There was
that's part of the game.
There was a racing game that came out recently. I can't remember the name of it. There was a racing game that came out that had no soundtrack in it to save money, and they said just play your Spotify music over it.
Gross. Yeah, that's the thing with games back then. Even sports games, I remember, like hockey games and whatnot. They had soundtracks, and those soundtracks were as much as part of the experience as anything else in that game. Seriously,
remember a specific song that plays over the
I remember
Andrew WK, Party Hard.
You remember they used to do intro videos, and a cool song would play, a hard rock song would play, or like a Blink-182 song would play over this really cool sequence.
I think Andrew WK's Party Hard played over NHL 2003.
Yeah.
I remember very specifically that game.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my retro game of the week.
That generation, I remember playing Madden 2002 and relatives being over and thinking it was live football.
Yeah, you thought it was.
When you look at it now, it's hilarious that people would think it was real.
It's flat
it's crazy.
People.
Yeah. The audience. Well, now we actually have flat people in real life.
Yeah, in real life. So
in real sports,
we weren't far off.
So real sports now look like a PS2 game.
That's awesome. It's full circle.
So normally every week we could have we could end the show with a topic to discuss. We've already gone an hour and a half, but we can still discuss just to end the show. Topic for the week, and for this week we're going to just talk about the next gen consoles and how frustrating it is that nothing has been. I mean, I'm probably not going to get them at launch, because they're probably going to be $500-$600.
You're,
But
yeah.
who knows?
You
Who
know,
knows what it costs? Because the consoles come out in 2 months. We think.
We think. No, for sure. Xbox Series X confirmed that it's November.
Not. Is it for
They,
sure?
They confirmed. They confirmed.
If there's no price, I don't believe it.
No, they confirmed.
That's the thing. It's
It was funny. They said a November release date, but they didn't give a price. They didn't give a specific date.
They didn't give a date. It's in November.
They just said November.
I think Sony said November.
You could check my facts on that, but no, it wasn't Sony. Sony had something. I think Sony had something. No, see, I don't know. Again, we got to get our facts straight on this, but I'm pretty sure Xbox said November, confirmed November. So maybe check that out.
Yeah, I'm looking into it. When I was scrolling through the news today for this show, I did see something about the Series X. Can't.
Either way, we had the Series S controllers leak. It was a Series X / S controller leak, and it had that post date of November 5th or something early November. So at the very, the very soonest it could be would probably be early November. But either way, you're right. 2 months away from these next gen consoles, and we don't have a price. What is happening?
Yeah, it's
now you could chalk this up to the C word, COVID-19. Trying not to say that this entire time, but you could chalk it up to that. And yes, of course, there's some factors that go into that. You have development schedules, you have manufacturing schedules that got pushed back. Everything got pushed back.
Well, there's the thing too with Sony's. Josh literally called me a couple days ago while I was at work, and I thought he was like dying or something. He never calls me, and I pick up the phone. I'm like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "Did you see that Sony is making it so that you have to like get on some email newsletter to get their console?"
They sent an email to me that said, enter your information, your PSN name, for a chance to be able to pre-order the new consoles, like be one of the few that can pre-order.
Yeah.
So it's a chance for a chance to pre-order a console.
Yeah.
What reality we live in. And it could be because of our life circumstances now. But at the same time, it's hard to make a console. And if they're shooting for a November, December release, that's historically the time that they release. But again, the Switch came out, March, April, and it did phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
it also launched with a Zelda game, though. So.
Yeah, true. So again, Halo Infinite launching in April with a Xbox Series X could be enticing. But
yeah.
It's just one of those things where
Halo's coming out in the fall.
Gaming has become an all year round thing. It's not just the Christmas. It's not just the holiday season.
Especially with the pandemic.
The pandemic,
the best selling game of the year so far is Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, and we're not talking mobile because there's probably better selling games on mobile, but
probably not better selling games, but probably more downloaded.
More downloaded games, yeah. We're just talking about
mobile doesn't count.
Mobile doesn't count. Honestly, it's whatever. But yeah, it's the most downloaded game, and that speaks to gaming culture as a whole and how this pandemic has actually affected gaming culture, and it's actually grown gaming culture. People have come to
couldn't find a Switch for a while.
Couldn't find a Switch.
I don't know if you still can.
Couldn't find a PS4 Pro. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
PS4 Pro, you couldn't even.
You know they discontinued the One X.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I was about to buy one too.
Before the Series X comes out.
I was about to, because I was like, should I? Yeah, no, I'll just wait for the X. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what they do. They've both come out and said, both Sony and Microsoft said they're not going to delay it.
Yeah.
These consoles.
They said that like in March. They were like, yeah, it's coming out.
Yeah, and they've reiterated that
multiple times.
So
I feel like sink or swim, they're just going to get it out.
They're going to get it out. Even if they only can manufacture 5 million consoles. I've heard they tried to shoot for manufacturing about 5 million. I think the PS4 was about 4 or 5 million manufactured at launch. Yeah. So eventually, you've heard of the race to 10 million, right? Yeah. When new console launches come out, usually the first console to reach 10 million tends to keep that lead for the entire generation. Tends to. except for the PS3.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the 360
towards
PS3.
the end.
Yeah,
that's what was
they
weird.
leveled out by the end.
They leveled out, but again, it was the majority of the generation was 360, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what the 10 race to 10 million is like. What's the majority of consumers gonna to flock around?
Yeah.
And again, both consoles are doing different things, so it's
That's
kind
the
of
coolest
up to.
part.
That's
honestly.
what's cool. Yeah.
It's like the first time that all three of the major, like we almost had that last gen.
Yeah.
When Microsoft came out, like it's gonna be always online.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And I honestly wish they had just stuck to their guns
they
instead
were,
of like
they
panicking.
Were,
like
they were ahead of their game.
They were, yeah.
They were. Like us consumers were not ready.
They phrased it really badly though.
They phrased it badly, but but they had Cortana at launch, didn't they? No,
they didn't have. Well,
or did they add that in a little bit later?
You had to have the Kinect.
So the Kinect, but the Kinect at launch was, hey, Xbox on.
Yeah, it had the voice stuff.
Think about that. What do we use now?
Yeah.
We use these home. What are they called? Home pods, or they call like Alexas and. Like we use those on a day-to-day basis now. Hey Siri, hey okay Google, all that, right?
Just activated both of our phones.
Yeah,
when you
our
said
phones
that.
are kind of creepy. They're always listening, but again, we're fine with that now as a culture, as a society. So Xbox was ahead of the game back then, and you're right. It would have been a cool, different, unique.
Well, and the way they talked about their storefront, too, is like it was just Steam, like, and like they talked about doing all these weird things with
Microsoft
console.
apps.
They talked about doing like cloud RAM or whatever. Do you remember that? I don't remember. There was some weird cloud computing stuff they were talking about doing.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but then they just backpedaled.
Yeah, and they backpedaled too far, and they couldn't.
They didn't backpedal far enough because they launched it with Kinect required.
Yeah, they should have backpedaled.
You had to have
more,
a Kinect.
Yeah.
You couldn't play the Xbox without a Kinect.
They fumbled the launch, and then they tried to backpedal what they already had launched, and it just didn't work out for them. But again, like you said, it's going to be cool.
That's why they're afraid to release the prices.
Yeah.
Because that's what shot Xbox in the foot. They came out $100. That's the thing. PS3 came out $200 more than 360. A year after it came out.
Yeah.
The year after 360, because 360 launched at $400, the top tier model. Right? Was it 400 or 300?
The 360?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Yeah.
I think it was $399 for this 20 gig, and then the arcade model or whatever was like $299.
Yeah, I think I got the $299. No, I got the one with the hard drive.
Maybe the 20 gig was $299. I don't remember.
Yeah, it might have been $299, and then the next gen was $499.
Because then PS3 had a 20 gig for $499, and a 60 gig for 60 gigs.
Oh my gosh!
Imagine having that now for $5.99.
You couldn't play The Witcher.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't play anything. You could. That's half of Warzone.
Yeah.
But
so okay, this is my.
Are afraid to release the price because I feel like they're afraid of what happened last time with the Xbox One, which came out at $499. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
People are saying now that it's insane for the current consoles to come out at $499, when an Xbox One already was $499. And it's like, it's not. They're gonna be $499.
They're gonna be $499 to $599.
Yeah,
that's my guess. And here's the thing with Xbox is they cannot come out first.
The digital versions will be $499. The other ones will be more.
I guess I could see that. Maybe even.
That's my guess.
What if they're $200 cheaper? The digital
There's
versions?
no way. It's just a disc drive.
Yeah.
Disc drives aren't as expensive. Blu-ray disc drives aren't as expensive as they.
So maybe 100. Either way.
Or 50. Maybe it's like $550 for the.
Bottom line, Xbox cannot release their price first. So they're literally waiting for.
I think they're both afraid.
PS4 doesn't. They're in the lead. They don't really have anything to lose.
If Sony says, I think what they're thinking is like if Sony comes out and they're like, our console is $499, they're worried Microsoft's gonna be like, screw it, ours is $449, like, and just undercut them just for the sake of doing it. Yeah,
Microsoft's gonna do that
and just make a loss.
I've heard interviews with Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, for Microsoft.
I think sorry, what are you saying?
And he's stated that very thing where they don't care about releasing the price. They need to. He knows they need to match or undercut them at the bare minimum. Match. They need to match.
I think
Sony.
they're both trying to undercut each other, and they're just waiting for the other one to blink first.
Give me.
But neither of them are doing it.
Give me a $100 console, bro. Just undercut.
And like they don't even know there's no pre-orders.
Yeah,
they don't know how much to even make.
That's why I called you, because it blew my mind.
Yeah,
that's how they were really. And this is the first time Sony is actually allowing you to buy it from their Sony PlayStation
Yeah, like
website. It's kind of
directly from
directly.
Sony, yeah.
Kind of weird.
Microsoft's been doing that for a while with Xbox.
Yeah,
but
because they're cool.
you can
They're
order an
ahead of time.
Xbox from your Xbox. Did you know that?
Yeah,
It's
I
in the
saw
store.
that.
Yeah,
the
it's
Microsoft
really weird.
store. Yeah,
You can order a controller for your Xbox.
Yeah, customized controller.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because they're streamlined. It's consumer friendly, right?
Yeah.
So they'll do all that. But yeah, this is we're living in a weird time in gaming in general. Like,
Yeah.
how is this? How is it gonna play out?
We don't have the launch lineup for either console either. Like, we
Barely.
don't really. We
Is
know
Miles Morales
we
the
know
launch?
like what games will be on them this year,
Yeah.
like Valhalla, Assassin's
That's
Creed.
third party and that's cross gen. Though,
Yeah,
right?
but like we know some cross-gen games are gonna be on there. Like,
Yeah.
we know Control Ultimate Edition's gonna be on there, and like some other stuff. But like I don't think Spider-Man. Let's double check.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I don't know if it's a launch game. They haven't. I don't think they said. They might have.
It
said
says Q4 2020.
Q4, so they haven't even said
It is due to be released as a launch title.
it's due to.
According to Wikipedia, so take that with the massive grain
Yeah.
of salt that you want to.
And I see Spider-Man Miles Morales as a Uncharted Lost Legacy-esque.
Yeah.
So it's, what is it, 40
It said
bucks?
it's going to be like a 10-hour game.
And they said $40. I think
Yeah.
they said cheaper. So yeah, we got Ratchet and Clank's probably next year.
Ratchet is going to be incredible.
Q1 next year. Ratchet was the only game I've seen that looks next gen.
Mhm.
No joke. Ratchet and Clank.
It's scheduled.
apart.
It's scheduled to release during the launch window.
So for probably Q1 next year.
This is from VentureBeat.
Okay.
Ratchet and Clank will release in PS5's launch window.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a game.
Yeah, no, I want a PS5.
I know.
now it's like, oh,
Here's my problem. I want both. I really do.
Yeah.
And I know PS5 is the long-term investment of, guess what's going to come out? God of War 2
it's going to
eventually.
come out. Games.
Spider-Man 2 eventually is going to come out.
Horizon.
Horizon 2.
Forbidden West.
Yeah, Forbidden West. Like, it looks epic. And it's just all these fantastic... Oh, somehow the Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer-esque thing...
Factions 2,
Factions,
whatever they call it.
They might call it The Last of Us Factions.
Yeah.
You know, but I heard it's going to be a separate release.
I hope it's free.
I hope it's free. I hope it's a free-to-play. That'd be cool.
It should be, because it's like you
They
already
make
bought the game.
Yeah, and they make so much on that series.
They
like,
could do microtransactions. I wouldn't care, you know.
Yeah, and their quality. You know, their quality.
That's what's frustrating with that Mario Battle Royale thing. Like, why would you just release it for 6 months when you could potentially make money off of it
Easily.
if you wanted to?
Give me some cool
Skins.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
For the just playing through the levels, have like a Zelda level in that Mario. You know, I don't know. They could again. That's
They just like leaving money on the table.
yeah.
They love doing limited stuff like that. Like with the NES Classic and the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
They were like limited time boxes you could get.
Yeah. What
And they were hard to find.
I almost bought them for nostalgia's sake, but
I wanted to get one. I remember when they came out like 4 or 5 years ago, the NES Classic came out, and I looked up the day it came out, and I was like, okay, cool. And then the day it came out, I like went over to Target, and I was like, oh, let's see if they have them. And they like laughed at me. They were like, yeah, you had to be here like before opening and get a ticket.
I had people that don't.
What?
Yeah, I had friends that don't even game. They don't play any of the current consoles,
Yeah.
and they went and bought those.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's spoke to nostalgia. That's all it did.
The Target I went to at that time said they only got 10.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it was
It was like intentionally limited
Limited.
to like hype up demand. It's like that old school toy tactic, you know, where they
Yeah.
like make it
super soakers.
super scarce. So that's why they're trying to like make it so like, oh, you can only get Mario for 6 months. Gotta get it now. You gotta buy it now.
I hope they change their mind. I hope they roll that back.
won't.
They won't because they're Nintendo. But
Yeah.
you're right.
Dude, imagine if they took it away in March and then they like released a new Mario bundle next year, and then one of those old games was in the new collection. And you had to rebuy them. It was like, oh, you can
Gross.
get Galaxy 2 now, but it's got Galaxy 1 in it, even though you already bought that.
Gross. They would do that.
I could see them doing that.
But back to the new consoles. Yeah, it's honestly, it's all up in the air right now, and we're just gonna be along for the ride.
I think they'll both be $4.99. I think this whole price,
Yeah.
like
you heard
stare off is stupid. The staring contest.
you've heard the whole it's gonna take $449 or $452 or whatever it is to just manufacture all the parts, right? So it was something like that for the PS5 or for the Xbox Series X, I believe.
Yeah, I think for both. I think they're both
around the
estimated
same.
to be like.
So if you're gonna make any kind of profit margin on that, yeah, you got to be at what? You wouldn't list it at 470.
They'll probably just try to break even on them.
If you break even, Xbox is going for we're going to sell you an ecosystem, right? Xbox is trying to sell you an ecosystem.
Yeah.
They don't care if you buy an Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox X Series X. They don't care. The Xbox xCloud or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They don't care. They want you in their ecosystem. So
traditionally, the strategy was to sell your console at a loss and then make money on your software.
Yeah.
Because you make money for every game you sell, even if it's third party.
That's a smart move, and that's
like
why
even on the PlayStation Store, Sony makes like something like 10 to 20% of every game sold.
Yeah.
You know.
So we have to take in consideration. I'll bring up another point here. Is what are we at? At least in America, we have 30 million plus unemployed. How are we going to spend
people are
money?
Losing money. Yeah.
How are we going to spend money on a $600 console?
This is why it's like I've heard other people say this, where it's like they should have released the pre-orders early.
Yeah.
When people had more money.
Yeah.
Like the $600 a week and the stimulus checks, and then now by the time it comes out, everyone's not going to have any purchasing power at all, and it's like.
And they're going to be more expensive than the last generation. Yeah. So how this is going to play out in America, at least, I mean, that's to be determined. But that does play a huge factor. Yeah. I wish I can afford both at launch, obviously, but I'm probably gonna have to choose, honestly. And I have a PS4 Pro, but I don't have. I have an older Xbox, so I might go with the Series X. You know. But then if that PS5 launches with some cool games, exclusives that are only exclusive to PS5, I'll probably go PS5. So it's all to be determined at this point.
Yeah.
No. Do we want to get into Nintendo Switch Pro rumors, or just save that for?
I mean, we can save that because we don't have. There's been rumors that Nintendo Switch is going to release a remaster or a updated Pro model of the Switch next year.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. I mean, there was also a rumor that Nintendo had patented a GameCube Classic.
Oh,
they were going to try to release like.
I heard about that.
Yeah. They probably weren't ever going to do it. It was just a patent.
I don't want that. I want Nintendo Switch Online and 64. That's what I want. I don't want it.
They need to release because they have.
But I do want a Switch Pro
because they added online multiplayer to all those NES and Super Nintendo games. Yeah. There's so many great.
That's cool.
N64 and GameCube games and Wii games that could have online now.
Metroid Prime.
I think. There's a Metroid Prime game that has multiplayer. I can't remember if it's Prime 2 or the DS game.
2v2 or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what it had, but yeah.
Yeah, if there is, and this is all rumor, speculative, if there is a Nintendo Switch Pro version, I'm all about it. My Switch, especially my Switch now, is pretty much a port system. I play older games. And I'll play third-party games just for the sake of having it handheld.
Yeah.
That's the coolest feature about it. So all these new consoles launching with Series X and PlayStation 5, that'd be really cool if they had some kind of 4K Switch, 60 frame per second Switch, capability. I guess the Switch has that already, but just some kind of updated performance.
Yeah.
And that can work with the new gens, at least at the base level, at least the first couple months of the game, or I guess the first year of the console generation. That'd be really cool to have.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna happen, but again, I would buy it. I'd buy it right away.
We'll see how well it. I mean, the Switch already is pretty powerful for how small it is. What it can do, the Switch Lite, especially. Look at that, the blue one. Look how small that is.
Yeah, it's deceiving.
And it can run.
The Witcher,
Diablo 3,
right?
and The Witcher, it can run all these games well.
Yeah,
and
there's some magic.
Mario Odyssey looks amazing, and all these games look amazing.
Nintendo first party always looks incredible.
Yeah,
they look. Yeah, it's Pixar level at this point.
Well, they're basically laptops.
Yeah,
they're not tablets. They're structured like little mini laptops. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen video breakdowns of them, and they have that heatsink fan in them and everything. It's weird.
So I guess you're right. A Switch Pro.
But yeah.
A Switch Pro. Yeah, some games are kind of clunky and kind of they chug a little bit. I think I've heard The Witcher has dumbed down graphics and whatnot.
The worst fender I've seen is XCOM 2.
Okay.
It actually is totally playable on Switch, but it runs so badly. Like the frame rate's
Frame
okay.
rate,
It's
yeah.
30 frames, and it stutters every now and then. But in that game, it takes like a full 1 to 2 minutes just to load a save.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
like it's just like it runs slow. It's totally playable and
Yeah.
fine, but like it's just one of those things like, man, I wish I was playing. It was the first time I was like, I wish I was playing this on a different system just for the speed.
Yeah,
like, just
that's-
the snappiness of it,
yeah.
you know.
That's what I think a Switch Pro would do.
Yeah,
Just
Switch
kinda
Pro would
complement-
make it more.
It would make even those
future
older
games.
games that have already been released that you can go back and play,
Yeah.
and it would just be smooth. You know, yeah, I think it's necessary. I think.
I think the original Crisis is on Switch now.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's heavily downscaled, but like
Yeah.
that game when it came out on PC was just ridiculously hard to run. But yeah, I think we've hit everything for the week.
Cool.
We almost went 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, an hour
Awesome.
50. Wild. But yeah, that's it for the show. You guys can look forward to new episodes probably every Friday morning. Time to be determined. But yeah,
This has been a discourse about gaming.
about gaming. I will make social media accounts. I can talk about them next week
Yeah.
because I don't have them up yet, so I can't redirect everybody to the links. But yeah, I'll make social media accounts, and there'll be a webpage and where to find the podcast and all that.
Do you want to plug your Twitter or something?
No, I don't have to plug my own personal Twitter. I'll plug the show Twitter whenever that
Okay.
comes out.
Okay.
What is my personal Twitter? I guess I
You
can
don't-
plug it.
I'll plug mine. Mine's you can follow me on Twitter at 2zogre, which is also my PSN name. It's my
Uh-oh.
Xbox.
You just got spammed by friend invites.
Yep, there we go. It's my it's my gamer tag. It's my PSN. It's my Switch, which doesn't really have an online system, so I don't know how that works. But anyway, it's everything. So you can follow me at 2zogre, TWOSOGRE. 2zogre.
My Twitter handle's Matt Hudson. Just MATTHUDSON.
Okay, so it's
Pretty
not
simple.
anything about your
No.
gaming. Okay,
It's just Matt Hudson. Matt Hudson.
cool.
Very basic. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back next week.
See ya.
Farewell.